Hi all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it is your first time. Today we're gonna start our first campaign battle report for one-page rules, Fallen City. So I'm gonna quickly go over the warbands now. After that we'll get into the introduction of this battle, and after that we have some exciting battles ahead of us. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright. So going quickly over the units, we're going to begin with the Human Empire with their leader, the High Knight, who has 65 points, who has a quality of 4 up, a defense of 3 with a toughness 3. He's carrying a blessed sword, which has 3 attacks and 1 armor piercing. His abilities are Fearless, Hero, and Fear 1. He has a shield, which gives him the +1 to defend, and he has a toughness of 3. Next we're gonna have the regular Foot Knights with a shield. They have a quality of 4 up, a defense of 3 up, toughness 1. They all have swords with 1 attack and 1 armor piercing. They have Fearless and the shield ability, and they are 20 points each. Excuse me. Next we have the Men-at-Arms with a shield. They are infantry for 15 points. They have a quality of 5 up, defense of 4, toughness of 1. They have a hand weapon which is 1 attack, and they have 1 shield which gives them the +1 to defense, giving him the defense 4. And last but not least we have our Bowman, who is also infantry for 10 points. He has a quality of 5 up, defense of 5 up, toughness of 1. He has a hand weapon for melee combat which has 1 attack, and he has a longbow that shoots 30 inches and has 1 attack, and he has no abilities. And that is it for the Human Empire. Next we have the Beastmen. We have the Beast Lord, which is their leader, for 70 points with a quality of 3 up, defense of 3 up, toughness 3. He has a heavy axe which has 3 attacks, armor piercing of 1. He has the Furious ability, Hero ability, Bestial Hatred, and toughness 3. Next to him we have the Endoli Elite, which has 25 points, quality of 3 up, defense of 3 up, toughness 1. He has a great weapon with 1 attack and an armor piercing of 1. He also has the Furious and Head Taker ability. Next to them we have some more Endoli warriors, who are infantry for 20 points. They have a quality of 4 up, defense of 3 due to the shield, toughness of 1. They have a hand weapon that has 1 attack. They have the shield and Furious ability. Next we have a Wahini Hunter for 15 points with a quality of 5 up, defense of 4 due to the shield, toughness 1. A hand weapon which has 1 attack. They have the Strider ability and the +1 defense due to the shield. Next to that we have one Wahini Raider, who is also infantry, for 15 points with a quality of 5 up, defense of 5 up, toughness 1. Hand weapon which has 1 attack and a hunting bow that shoots 18 inches for 1 attack. They have the Strider and Stealth ability. And that is it for the Beastmen. Throughout the fog, a vessel emerges carrying a group of armored men waving the banners of Nantivia. Upon the bow, a man raised his visor, studying the shapes of the approaching city. There was some talk among the men as Etienne turned to face them. He spoke to them about their mission, which was to find the witch hunter Caleb, this on behest of the royal family, but more so on behest of his wife, the Lady Marion, niece to the King of Ermire. Their son, Trajan, was among the knights, along with some of their men-at-arms and also from other noble houses. Some of the men, however, only joined in the hope of securing some rift stones, this to expand their coin purses. Of course, they did not share this with their knight captain. Upon nearing the ramshackle dock, Etienne read the letter to the Lady Marion one last time before attaching it to the crow to be sent. Dear Marion, as promised, I am writing this letter on my arrival at this wretched city. It is more fouler than I ever imagined. The stench of decay is noticeable from far up the river. and the twisted shapes among the mist of the ruined buildings give it an eerie feel, almost like entering a hellish dimension detached from our world. Our son, Trajan, is eager, and so are some of the men, but they are young and foolish. I recognize this place for what it truly is. It is hell. I know you've asked me to find your brother, and I made a vow that I would. We are docking at the left bank, as that is where the Temple of the Blessed Sisters is located. And from what I know, it is that this is the last location he and the other witch hunters were heading. So that is where we shall go. Trajan is looking forward to reunite with his uncle, however. I send this letter now with the crow, hoping it will reach you soon. I will not return without your brother. This I swear. Sincerely yours forever, Etienne. Their boat now docked, and as they disembarked, the sound of hoofs could be heard, echoing through the dark streets of the city. This was followed by a raw, bestial roar. Etienne knew the sound. Beastmen, and he knew them to be a fierce adversary, not to be underestimated. If this was just the start of their journey, and he hoped that it would be the last of their encounters, but deep down he knew that this was only the beginning. Now everybody enjoy the battle report!
Alright my friends, so to start off, we're first going to roll a d4. We've gathered 2 warbands. Both of them are equally 200 points. So now we're going to roll off a d4 to see in which section the Beastmen are going to deploy. And that is section 3. Means over there. So section 1, section 2, and section 3 over there. So we're going to deploy the Beastmen over there. Normally I would roll for the Human Empire as well, but this is a campaign match, so it's story driven. Now let's also gonna see who has the initiative. Which are the Beastmen, so they have the initiative in this game. So we have an Undoli warrior here, a Wahini hunter here, another warrior here, another hunter here, another warrior here. Then we have our Beast Lord over here, and the Undoli elite over here. So they have deployed in their section, as you can see. They're scattered pretty much around the area, which doesn't matter in a campaign battle. And normally now we would roll for the scenario, but that's not necessary in this case. What we are going to do, and it is the Beastmen who get to do that, is roll if there are any wandering monsters. So let's check that out first. And it is a 6, which on my list is no wandering monster, so that's a good start. Now a very important one, main objectives. We're gonna roll, and the Beastmen are gonna roll a d6, so basically a d3 plus 2 main objectives. Okay, so that's just 1, which means 1, 2, and 3. Now the Beastmen get to deploy their first main objective, and they're gonna place the first one in this section, as they are not allowed to place that in where they spawn. So the first main objective is here. Next, our Human Empire get to place their main objective, and they're gonna set theirs all the way here next to the fountain. Don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, you can see it over there. So we already have one objective over there, one all the way over there. And the Beastmen are gonna set up their final main objective in here, underneath. There we go. So main objective 1, main objective 2, don't know if you can see it all the way in the back, and main objective 3. Now next we're gonna roll for secondary objectives, and we're gonna see how many the Beastmen get, and they get 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now same deal for the Human Empire, they get 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's a total of 8 secondary objectives. Now both the Beastmen and the Human Empire are gonna switch each turn to places, each alternating between factions to place a secondary objective anywhere except in their own deployment zone. So I'm quickly going to do that now. All right, so that is done, and we have one over here. Let's walk you through it. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and over here we have number 8. So let's have a quick overview of the battlefield. All right, cool. Now here we have an overview of everything of my setup. So I have my my Beastmen with their abilities, their character cards. They are the red, so they play with the red dice. My climb test measure, turn counter. Yes, I know there are many. And the same for the blue team, the Human Empire. All right. Let's get this campaign battle on the way, shall we? And of course, we're gonna start with the Beastmen, who have the priority here. And of course, as the start of first turn, this Undoli warrior is going to run up here and grab this first secondary objective. Doing that are both 2 actions. He's running and he's taking the objective. That officially ends his turn. But for the moment, they have 1 secondary objective. I'm going to place that here. All right. Activating second is the first of our Human Empire. And we're going to have our leader run all the way up here, rushing towards over here. And that ends his activation. There we go. Now continuing on and moving over to the Beastmen again. Next, we're going to have our Wahini Hunter run all the way up to here, getting closer to the main objective, also ending his activation, of course. All right, cool. Next, we're gonna activate this Foot Knight, and he does not need to do a climb test, so he can move 1 inch and then run all the way over here and joins his captain. And he is from a different house than the captain, but they all follow his command. Next, we're going to activate the Beastmen, and we have this Wahini Hunter who is going to run all the way up to here, getting closer to the other second main objective, but that ends his turn. Activating another Knight, moving up 1 inch, trying to see. Nope, he does not need to do a climb test, so he can move up here, taking a shortcut. And he's gonna continue his rush all the way up to here. That ends his activation. Oops. Now this boat is difficult terrain, so it will halve his movement. But he's not there yet. Next, we're gonna activate our Wahini Raider, the archer. And he's gonna rush all the way up to there, which will also end his activation. Next, activating this man-at-arms here, going up the stairs and running closer to these barrels. Ending his activation. Here we go. First turn is always a lot of running around, taking position, trying to get closer to the objectives, but they'll get there. Now, obviously, the main focus on this battle is to gain as much victory points and win the battle, but campaign-driven, Etienne and his crew, they are supposed to meet up with Caleb the Witch Hunter. So let's see how that goes, shall we? Now we're gonna activate this warrior over here, and he's running all the way up to here, leaping up the elevation and also moving in closer to the main objective. And as it stands, the Beastmen for the moment are getting closer to the objectives than the Human Empire, but that don't mean nothing yet. I mean, there are 15 rounds in these games, so a lot can happen. Activating another Knight, running up these stairs, moving all the way here, running up these stairs, joining his fellow on the bridge. Ending his activation. They are from different houses, but that don't mean anything. I mean, there are rival houses in Antivia, but in this case, well, this is not Game of Thrones, you know? They all get along. Next up, another warrior. And he's moving all the way up to here. Also trying to reach the second objective. The second main objective. There we go. I'm going to activate my archer, and he's going to run up the stairs, leap on top of here, and move closer, right next to his captain. That obviously ends his activation. There we go. Next, my Beast Lord is going to go across the alleyway, run past the ruined house, all the way up to the statue over here. Ending his activation. There we go. Going over again to our Nantivian Knights, the Human Empire, leaping on top of here, leaping on top of here. Going all the way up to this man-at-arms behind the tree. Ending his activation. And I'm destroying my terrain. Whoops. Now we have our Andoli Elite. And he's gonna run past the ruined building, cross through it, and start to head down the stairs all the way down here. Scratch that. 12-inch. Way to go. So he ends his activation all the way up here. Sorry. For a second I had the fast ability in mind, but that's not what he has. So he ends his activation on top of these stairs right here. Now that is it for the Beastmen. We have 2 more guys remaining in the Human Empire because they have the advantage of 1 person. Though the points are the same, they have 1 guy more than the Beastmen. Alright, so this guy, we're gonna, for fun, take the stairs, go up here, join the knight, ending his activation. Don't really need to put a counter, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There we go. Now this guy gonna do the same, but he's gonna go close to his captain right here. Ending his activation, and with that, we end the first turn. For the second turn, the blue team activates first. Now, as things stand for now in the start of the second turn, for main objectives, there are none yet. But this guy, where is he? Over here. I don't know if you can see him. No, he's behind this house right here. He has 1 secondary objective. Now, as I've mentioned in the rules before, the secondary objectives only count at the end of the battle because he can still lose it. He has it for the moment, but if he gets killed or knocked out, he will drop the secondary objective. Okay, it's time for the knights to activate. Alright, so we're going to activate this knight, and he's going to rush across the terrain, but it's difficult terrain, so it will have his movement, so he can only move 6 inches, which will end him up here. That also ends his activation. Let's see if I can put the counter somewhere over here. There we go. And for the moment, this Wahini Hunter is gonna run and claim the main objective right here. So for the moment, that is 3 points for the Beastmen. Well, at the end of this turn, if they still are in a position of this objective, they gain the 3 victory points for this turn. And as long as they can keep it for the turns following that, yeah, they get the 3 points every time. But of course, my longbowman isn't gonna let that slide, and he's gonna move all the way up to here. So he has a clear line of sight from here to here, and he can shoot 30 inches. So he's gonna take the first shot, hitting on a 5. No armor piercing or nothing, hitting on a 5. Oh, and he makes the shot. So let's see if the Wahini Hunter with a defense of 4 can defend against that, and he does. Nice try, nice shot, with a nice defense, so the arrow hits into the shield of the Wahini Hunter. Would have been very cool if he hit the shot though. Long distance, long shot, would have been cool, but Unfortunately not. Next up, we're going to have this Beastman rush all the way up here, behind these barricades, waiting for the knights to appear. End his activation. Also, if the archer should shoot at him, he has the benefit of cover. Obviously, this knight is going to follow along in the footsteps of his brother, not literally his brother, but his brother in arms. That will end his activation because he also has a half movement due to difficult terrain. They don't have the Strider ability, so yeah, that's difficult terrain. This time my Endoli Elite can make it down the stairs and he's going to claim this secondary objective. So for the moment as it stands, the Beastmen have 2 secondary objectives and 1 main objective. And the Human Empire have none. That don't mean anything in the second turn, of course. I mean, only just getting started. Next up, we're going to have this knight rush past his friend, who is from the same house, all the way up to here. That will end his activation, however, but he manages to get all the way up to there. Alright, cool. Next, this Wahini Raider is going to rush all the way to the corner up here. Putting an arrow into his bow. Next, activating is Etienne Delacour, Captain Etienne, running all the way up to here. Ending his activation though. There we go. And obviously the Beastmen now I'm gonna rush over here, taking the main objective. Turning himself towards the incoming knights. More knights are gonna rush forward as they are preparing, because the next turn they will start to clash with the Beastmen. There we go, ending his activation. Now next up, of course, it's the Beastman's turn, and this Wahini hunter is gonna join his friend here at this objective. Ending his turn as well, standing side to side for the incoming knights, who you can see approaching right over here. Now this man-at-arms is gonna rush forward all the way up to the end of the bridge, and then due to difficult terrain, he manages to get up here. Ending his activation as well, of course. Let's hope he doesn't fall into the water. Just gonna put the icon right here. Next, we're gonna activate this Beastman, and he's gonna rush all the way up to here. This is also the one who is carrying one of the secondary objectives. That also ends his turn. He's going to try and get through the ruin, through the open door, which will lead him directly to the third main objective. This man-at-arms is gonna rush forward all this way, leaping through the hole here in the ruin, getting closer to the third objective as well. There we go. Finally, we have our Beast Lord. He's gonna leap over the barrels and run in cover behind these barrels over here. Ending his activation as well. Next, we have 1 man-at-arms remaining, and he's gonna rush forward all the way up to here, getting closer to his companion. And that is it for the second turn. Now, as it stands for the moment, points-wise, the Beastmen are in the lead with 3 objectives from objective marker number 1, so that's 3, and objective marker number 2. So, yeah. That's 6 points at the end of this turn for the Beastmen, and they have 2 secondary objectives. So as it stands, it is 6-0, and we are going to go over to the third turn, and this time it will be the Beastmen who activate this one. Alright, so we're going to continue with turn 3, and I'm going to start with this Beastman, who is going to run all the way up to here. Not getting close enough yet to the third objective, but he's getting quite near it, as you can see, but not just yet, unfortunately. Now it is time for the Human Empire, and this guy is close enough to run all the way up to this objective and claim it for now, which will also end his activation. Now, while he claims this activation, that also puts him in a charging range of this Wahidi Hunter, and he's gonna do exactly that. He's gonna charge towards the man-at-arms. So here we have our first combat of the turns. Combat of the games, actually. And he needs a 5 to hit, no armor piercing, and he doesn't make it. That ends his activation, moves him backwards. Now obviously this guy is gonna strike back with full strength, also needing a 5 to hit and no armor piercing, and he misses as well. Now it's this guy's turn, and he's leaping over this little wall and also charging towards the Wahidi Hunter. Same deal, needing a 5 to hit, and he hits it. Rolling to defend. Now he's carrying a shield, so he needs a 4 to defend this, and he does, which knocks this guy back an inch, and he's gonna strike back, but he needs a 6 to hit him, and he does not. Alright, finally some close combat time. Now if the Human Empire wants to claim this objective, they need to get rid of this guy, because he is not in base contact, but he is close enough for the objective to be contested. So moving over to this side, we're gonna have the Beast Lord himself jumping the barricade, charging straight into this knight. Now the Beast Lord, he has 3 attacks with an armor piercing of 1, and he hits on trees. All 3 are a hit. And he has Furious, which means these 6s become hits as well. Oh man. And he has Bestial Hatred, which means if this was a 5, that would have been a hit as well, because he hits his Furious on a 5-up due to Bestial Hatred. But this seems painful enough, so yeah, rolling 5 dice to defend this. Now it is probably safe to say that this knight is a goner. He normally defends on a 3-up, but due to the armor piercing, he needs 4s to defend this. Oh, look at that. He defends all these attacks. This knight is legendary. He knocks the Beast Lord back, and that ends the turn of the Beast Lord, with the knight now going to strike back at him. So 1 attack, hitting on a 4-up, armor piercing of 1, but he misses. Well, while we're at it, we are going to activate him next, and he's gonna charge towards the Beast Lord, needing a 6 this time to hit. And he does not, so that ends his activation. But what a legend, this knight. I mean, being able to defend all these attacks, 5 of them, needing a 4-up, damn, legend. Now the Beastmen are gonna have to make some tactical decisions, because this guy right here, he could run in, help his lord, attack the knight, or one of the other guys standing over there, but that will leave the main objective vulnerable, because one of those guys are close enough to rush towards the objective and claim it if everything fails. Well, the hell with it, we're here for a fight. This guy is gonna charge towards this knight standing over here. 1 attack, hitting on a 4, misses, moving back an inch, ending his activation. So that was unfortunate. He is gonna strike back with full strength, with an armor piercing of 1. That's a hit. Normally they would defend on the 3 due to the shield, but he has an armor piercing of 1, so defense on a 4-up. And that's a 5, and that's a defense. The knight now is gonna charge at the Beastman, needing a 6 to hit with an armor piercing of 1. Nope, he misses. Which moves him back an inch, ending his activation and giving the Beastman a chance to strike back, needing a 6 however. And he misses that as well. Now it is the Beastman's turn, and this Wahini Raider is just within range to shoot this knight standing over here. So that is a 1 attack, no armor piercing. And a 4 is... no, that's a miss. That ends the Wahini Raider's activation. Now while we're at it, we're going to activate him, and he's going to move all the way up here. And he's going to attempt to jump in here. So, difficult terrain. He has enough movement to reach this spot. From here, he's going to jump. Now, normally a jump this high, they can make it, but as he is standing in difficult terrain, he's going to need to make a quality check. So let's see how he manages to do that. So needing a 4 up, and that's a 5, and he makes the jump. That does end his activation. That was a very cool move. Alright, very cool. That did get the attention of this Beastman, this Undoli warrior. Now he's going to rush all the way to the steps here. That does end his activation, but he is getting closer to the knight. As you can see, only this door and wall separates these two. Okay, time to get some leader action in. We're gonna activate Sir Etienne, and he's gonna rush, leaping over these barricades, charging straight into the Beast Lord. 3 attacks with an armor piercing of 1, needing a 4 up. And that are 2 hits with an armor piercing of 1. And he will need a 3 to defend this, but due to the armor piercing, he will need a 4. Ooh, and he takes 2 wounds. That was quite a hit. Alright, so he gives him a good hit, knocking him down to only 1 wound remaining. This ends his activation. He dealt quite a blow. Now he's obviously gonna strike back, but he needs a 6 to hit. Striking back, needing a 6, armor piercing of 1. That is 1 hit with an armor piercing of 1. Rolling to defend, and Etienne has a defense of 3 due to the armor piercing, needs a defense of 4, and he takes 1 wound as well. Alright, cool. Battle of the bosses. Activating this Undoli elite, and he's gonna rush all the way up to here. Will end his activation. There we go, there he is. I'm gonna activate my archer, and I'm a little in doubt what I'm gonna do. So either he can shoot towards the Beast Lord over there, trying to take him out, as he only has 1 wound left, yet he has a higher defense than, for instance, if he would aim at one of these two. But he is gonna move a little here, and he's gonna shoot. Attempt to shoot at the Beast Lord, you never know, needing a 5 to hit. And that's a miss. Would have been cool, but unfortunately it's a miss. Okay, for the Beastman, I only have this guy to activate, and he's gonna move, not leaving the objective, but taking cover behind these barrels. Ending his turn. Trying to stay close to the objective, keeping it under their control. As for the Nantivian Knights, we only have this guy to do. So he's gonna move up to here, and he's gonna jump down onto the docks. Needs to make a quality test, as it is difficult terrain, and he makes it, so no problem. Does, however, end his activation, but he lands safely on the docks. And I forgot, I still have this foot soldier here. I mean, this man-at-arms is gonna do the same. Run up to here, leap to the docks, rolling for his quality, but he fails. Now, he leapt from here, so The problem will be, will he fall onto the docks or will he fall into the water? So if it's a 1, he falls into the water. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he falls into the docks. On a 1, he's gone. And that's a 6. All right, so he lands on the docks. Now, if he rolls this quality, he's all right. He hits his quality, he lands, he falls safely without taking any wounds onto the docks. That does, however, end his activation, and he's one lucky man-at-arms. Could have gone a whole lot worse. All right, so as it stands, we have a contested objective here. These guys doing battle. This one is still under the control of the Beastmen. Here we have a cool fight going on. The archer. 3 guys here made it to the docks. That objective is also under the Beastmen's control. So yeah, as it stands for the moment, it is 6 points for the Beastmen, 0 points again for the Human Empire, which brings it to a total of 12-0. And with that, we end the 3rd turn, going over to the 4th one, and this time it is the blue team who gets to activate first, which are, of course, the Human Empire. Alright, so for the start of the 4th turn, we're going to begin with Etienne attacking the Beast Lord. He has 1 wound left, he has an armor piercing of 1, and needing a 4 to hit the Beast Lord. And that are 2 hits. Rolling to defend, armor piercing of 1, so a defense of 4 up. He defends 1, but he takes 1 wound. And with that, the Beast Lord goes down. Now this doesn't mean that the Beast Lord is dead, because we're gonna roll on the injury table. And if he rolls a 1, yeah, then the Beast Lord dies and is removed from play and from the Warband roster. Now if he rolls a 2 or a 3, he's removed from play. And if he rolls a 4 or a 5, he's merely stunned and we lay him prone, and he can stand back up and activate next turn, but he is vulnerable to attacks. And if he is attacked, he will be removed from play. And if we roll a 6, however, nothing happens and it's just a flesh wound. So let's see. He remains in play with 1 wound remaining, but his turn is over. But so is our good friend Etienne's turn. That was impressive from the Beast Lord. Alright, now this guy here is gonna run through the door, charging immediately at this man-at-arms. So he's charging through the door all the way to this guy right here. 1 attack, needing a 4 to hit, and that's a 5, so that's a hit. Rolling to defense, the guy does have a shield, so he defends on a 4, and he defends on a 6, which is awesome, so he knocks the Endoli warrior back. It is the end of his activation, and he's also gonna strike back with a full strength. 1 attack, no armor piercing, and that is a miss. Alright, so I could activate him, charging to him right now, but I'm not gonna do that yet. But I'm gonna put this dice with the 6 next to him, knowing that if he activates, he's gonna have to roll a 6 if he's going to attack him. But for now, I'm gonna charge with this knight also into the Beast Lord, trying to take him out, and taking the advantage that the Beast Lord cannot strike back this turn. A 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, that's a hit. Rolling to defend, needing a 4, and no, he is taken out again, going down again. So again, we're gonna roll for the wound effect, and that's a 1. That's an instant kill. The Beastman has been killed. The Beast Lord has been killed. Not only does it end his activation, he killed the boss, he killed the leader. So I'm gonna mark with my pencil on the back, giving him 1 stripe, because that earned him 3 extra victory points for this guy. Now he can already keep those to spend later on after the match to upgrade or level up, but 3 victory points, that ain't gonna do all that much just yet. But what a fighter. First he defended all those attacks, and now he's slain the Beast Lord. Now morale for the Beastmen is taking a huge hit, but only one of them is dead, so they are not needing to roll for their morale just yet. But they lost their leader. Right, Beastman's turn, and this guy isn't feeling all that lucky, but nonetheless he is going to attack this knight standing right here. So 1 attack, needing a 4, and that's a hit. No armor piercing. The guy has a shield, so rolling to defend, needs a 3 to defend it, and he defends it easily, knocking back the Beastman 1 inch. Ending the Beastman's turn. Now the knight obviously is gonna strike back. Full strength. Nice hit. Armor piercing of 1. Rolling to defend for the Undoli warrior, needing a 4 due to the armor piercing. And that's a miss. He takes a hit. Means he goes down. And we're gonna roll on the wound effect. And that's a 2, which is a knockout, so he is removed from play. That ends this guy's activation. And 2 Beastmen down for the moment. Things are looking better for the human empire. Alright, cool. Turning our attention back to here, we have this Wahini hunter who is going to attack this man-at-arms. Needing a 5 to hit. No armor piercing. And it doesn't count. Needing a 5 to, and this time he hits. Bang! Rolling to defend. Needing a 4 to defend it. And he defends it, knocking back the Wahini hunter. Alright. Ending his activation. Now, instead of striking back, and he isn't locked in base contact, he is going to rush towards the objective, taking it away from the Beastman. And he was not in combat due to that he got knocked him back. So he was able to run away, and he claims the objective for the moment. So for now, the human empire finally take 1 objective. But the battle is not over yet. Because here we have this Undoli warrior, our knight inside. So he's going to run through the open door here, charging, leaping through the ruins, hitting directly into the knight. 1 attack, no armor piercing, needing a 4, and that's a 5. Rolling to defend. No armor piercing, so a 3 to defend it. And he fails the defense, so he's going down. Rolling on the wound effects. That's a stand, so that was a 5. The dice wasn't flat, so rolling again, and that's a 3. He is taken out, knocked out, and removed from play. Okay, that's not so good for the knights. But what a strike for this Beastman. Does end his activation. Also, he gets a victory point because he killed the guy. No, that's not the leader, so it doesn't count. Sorry, forget that. But what a mighty blow from this Beastman. Next, we're going to activate our archer, and he's going to run all the way up to here. Well, move all the way up to here. giving him a clear line of sight towards the Andoli elite. And that is within 30 inches, so he's gonna shoot at him, needing a 5 to hit. And that's a 6. Nice shot. Pretty good archer. Okay, rolling to defend. The elite has a defense of 3 up. And he fails that. The arrow taking down the elite. Rolling for the wound effects. A 3, he is knocked out and removed from play. Bing! What an archer. Damn. And because he is taken out, he drops the secondary objective he was holding. Whoa. That was an impressive shot though. Nantivian archers are the best of the best. Alright, that ends his activation and he can be proud of himself for shooting down an Andoli elite. Also, if one more of the Beastmen is taken out, they're gonna have to roll for a morale check because then they are half what they started. Well, actually they still have to lose 2 more. And then they're gonna have to roll for their morale. But for now we're not there yet, and this Wahini Hunter is gonna shoot at the Man-at-Arms. And that's a hit. Rolling to defend. No, he does not defend it. The Man-at-Arms is taken out. He's going down, rolling for the wound effects. That's a 6, it's just a flesh wound. Lucky guy, just a flesh wound. But his turn is over though. And so is of course the turn of the Wahini Hunter. But what a shot. But the arrow just grazed his arm, that's it, nothing more. Next up we're gonna have this knight here, and he's gonna charge, he's just within range towards this Wahini Hunter, negating him from the objective. So I'm gonna roll to attack, needing a 4, armor piercing of 1, that's a hit. Rolling to defend, the defense of 4, so a defense of 5. He does not make it. He's taken down, rolling on the wound effects, and he's stunned. That's a nice move by the knight. And also, for the moment, he takes the second objective because the Beastman is stunned, and a stunned model cannot control an objective. Now we only have one model to activate, and it is this guy, and he can only hit on a 6 up. Now he can charge into the Beastman on the 6 up, trying to take him out, or he can hold his position so the Beastman cannot strike back at him, because that's what the Beastman will definitely do if he attacks. So I'm gonna hold position, so definitely that this objective cannot be controlled by the Beastman. I'm gonna have him hold, and with that we end this turn as well. Boom! Turn number 5, and it is the Beastman's turn. But before we go into that, let's quickly have a assess of the situation. So over here, this objective now is controlled by the human empire, and so is this one. So that gives them 6 points this turn, and the Beastmen aren't controlling any objectives, so that gives them 0 points. So the score for the moment is 12-6. Still in the benefit of the Beastmen, but the human empire is getting closer. So how is everything looking? We have a Beastman inside of the building who took out one of the knights. Here we have the stunned Wahini Hunter with the knight. We have the raider over there, a man-at-arms here, the archer, Etienne and 2 of the knights, one men-at-arms and 1 man-at-arms fighting these 2 beastmen. Alright, looking cool so far. Let's go over to turn number 5. Alright, starting the 5th turn with the beastmen. And I'm gonna be honest, I think this could be a make or break turn for the beastmen now. If they do score some hits and try to kill or remove some models from the human empire, they still have a fighting chance. But if they lose one more guy, then I think the battle is going to be the victor of the human empire. Now we're going to begin with something spectacular. Now this is 3 inches high, so he does not need to take a falling test, so he's going to jump down. That's 3 inches, and he still has enough left to charge over here at the man-at-arms. 1 attack, no armor piercing, needing a 4, and he hits the 4. Rolling to defend. The man-at-arms needs a 4 as well to defend. Yep, due to shield. And he defends it. Bang! Knocking the beastman back 1 inch. Ending his activation. And with this, he is gonna strike back full strength. Needing a 5, no armor piercing. And he misses. Alright. So if he's gonna charge, he will need a 6 if he's gonna charge at the beastman. But that was a very cool move, the way he jumped down and charged into the man-at-arms. Alright, this guy now is gonna go over to the stunned model. I know it's a little unknightly, but he's gonna take him out. That is, unless he fails. No, he takes him out. So the stunned model is removed from play. That does, however, end his activation. And the turn continues for the beastman now, with this warrior charging at the men-at-arms. Needing a 4 to hit, and he misses. Backing away. Now this time he is gonna strike back full strength, and he misses as well. I'm gonna keep this dice here for when he activates later on. And we're gonna activate the Beast Slayer. This knight is charging this way all the way to the Wahini Hunter. Rolling to attack, and this time on a 3 he misses. He's moving back 1 inch. This guy turning, striking back towards the knight, and he misses as well. I'm placing a dice of 6 here, so when he charges into the knight, he has to hit on 6s, just the same as I did with that guy over there. But first we're gonna have this Wahini Raider shoot into the knight over here. Needing a 5 to hit. He misses, unfortunately. The arrow goes wide. Not all that wide, but it does go wide. Wow. Next I'm gonna activate Etienne, and he's gonna charge all the way over here into this Wahini Hunter. Gonna charge over here into the hunter. 3 attacks, hitting on a 4 with an armor piercing of 1. 2 hits. Rolling to defend. The hunter has a defense of 4 because of the shield, but due to the armor piercing of 1, they will need a defense of 5. And he defends 1, but 1 gets through and he goes down. I'm gonna roll for the wound effect. And that's a 6, so he gets back up, just a flesh wound. His turn, however, is over, so we can remove this dice. But that was pretty cool. Alright, so that ends Etienne's activation. He did not manage to take out the hunter. And as it stands for the moment, we have no more Beastmen to activate. So it's just a turn of the remaining knights now. The human empire, that is. Okay, so we're gonna activate this knight. After measuring, he is not in range to get through the door and attack this Undoli warrior, but if he gets through the door, he is in range to attack this poor little hunter right here. So he's gonna do that. One attack, armor piercing of 1, and needing a 4 to hit, and he misses. And his activation, but due to him recovering from a wound, he cannot strike back. Alright, so let's see, that leaves 2 more guys. So we have the archer and the guy who can still charge at a 6 up for the human empire, because all the beastmen, as I said, have activated. Oh no, there's that guy over there. So yeah, 3 more guys that can activate for the human empire. So let's take this guy charging at the Wahini hunter here. Poor guy. Alright, rolling to attack, needing a 5 up, I believe. Yeah, a 5 up. Oh, and he makes that. Awesome. Alright, rolling to defend. No armor piercing. So the Wahini hunter has a defense of 4. And he does not defend, so he goes down. Rolling on the wound effects. And it is a 5, so he is merely stunned. Turn him like this. But nonetheless, he is down. This is one bloody alleyway over here. Right, so we're gonna turn our attention back to the archer. He's gonna shoot at the beastman over here, needing a 5 to hit, no armor piercing, 1 attack, and he misses. Boom, the arrow sticking into the ground. And I forgot that guy can still charge as well with a 6 up. That's why it's always handy if you don't immediately charge back after a strike back. Put the dice down so that you know that they can still activate on a 6 up. So I'm gonna do that now. Charging into the beastman, 6 up, misses. Ending his activation. Moving back 1 inch, the beastman can also strike back on a 6 up, and he misses as well. And here we have our final guy. He's gonna charge at this Undoli warrior with needing a 6 to hit, and he misses. Moving him back 1 inch, ending his activation. Beastman striking back, needing a 6 as well, misses as well. And with that, we end this turn as well. So let's have a look at the situation. Alright, as things stand, this objective is controlled by nobody. It is contested. That is in the possession of the human empire. So is that one. So that's 6 points for the human empire this turn, and 0 victory points for the beastman this turn. And incredibly, the score of victory points is a tie with 12-12. So we end the turn going over to turn 6, and it is the blue team that's going to activate this time, the human empire. So this guy is stunned. He's going to get back up soon. Now, as we can see, there are only 4 beastmen remaining. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, that is not enough to have them roll for morale, because they are not down to 1 less than half of their team. However, they did lose their leader in the previous turn, so they are going to have to roll for their morale. Rolling on the quality of the highest model still standing, and in this case that is 2 Undoli warriors. So let's roll for morale. They need a 4 up, and they failed their morale, so they're getting the hell out of there. And not only do they flee, that 1 Undoli warrior who was carrying one of these drops it as well. So no extra victory tokens for the beastmen. And as you can see, they are running, which makes this Actually, an impressive victory for the human empire. Though the score is 12-12, so victory points wise, they're equal, so that's a draw. But that team is fleeing. Alright, so final wound effects. The human empire have lost one guy. He was knocked out. Let's see what the end result is for his wounds. And that's a 3, so that was just a stun. So this guy will return next battle. As for the Beastmen, we all know the Beast Lord was dead. Now let's check out what happened to the Undoli Elite. Oh. Dead as well. Okay. We have one of the Undoli warriors. What happened to him? He's stunned. He will return next match. Well, next fight if he wants. The Wahidi hunter. He is killed as well. Alright, so 3 dead guys on the Beastman side. That's very painful. But for now, nighttime is approaching, so the knights find the ruin, clear it, and take refuge for the sinking sun and the approaching night. Here they sleep, and here they stand. Night is fallen over Felrift. But I have to say, the human empire really came through and pulled through at the end. Very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. And let's go to the outro of this battle.
The battle was fierce and brutal, but they prevailed. Making their way through the narrow snake-like streets, they made it to a place that would give them some shelter and respite so they can recover their strength and tend to their wounds. Their rest, however, did not last long. In the dead of night, a scream was heard from the streets down below. As Etienne looked through the broken window, he could see shapes of a ghoulish creature and the stench of death that hung around them. In the shadows, he could make out a silhouette of a large man with red glowing eyes, and his heart sank a little as he knew it to be for what it was. It was going to be a long night and another fight against a fierce enemy. This thing was a vampire. To be continued. Okay, everybody, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first campaign battle. More will follow soon. I really am enjoying playing these games. I would say please like, share, subscribe, as this really helps out my channel growth. And yeah, stay tuned for more to come. And I appreciate you all watching. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.